about y'all, but I've noticed a lot, and I do mean a lot of oddities that have been happening, not just to me, but around the world, so on and so forth. But today, specifically, I want to kind of talk about tapping into an inner strength that you may not be aware that you possess. I know for me personally, it's something that I have always been equipped with, but just been blind to it. I have always essentially been that strong friend who essentially has gone through all these tough trials and tribulations, oftentimes by myself. Not to discredit anyone who has helped me along the way to get to where I am, and not to discredit those folks, and they know who they are, and I thank you for your help during those periods that you were there. But ultimately, it's always boiled down to me essentially having to deal with things of my own, and not recognizing my inner strength really stunted me in a lot of ways. I feel that a lot of that is based on childhood traumas that I dealt with growing up, which I'm not going to necessarily get into on this video because I feel like that's a little heavy coming out the gate. But I definitely believe that I was kind of raised and groomed essentially to be a doormat for people, because of my kind heart, because I care so much. And essentially, I just want to let people know that whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with, if you've gotten through far worse in your past, you'll get through this too. And I'm not just saying that for you, I'm saying that for me too, because even though, yeah, I am a strong person, and you'll learn more about why I dubbed myself that title going forward, but I mean it. Like, I know that I can handle anything at this point. And I just want you to know that you're strong too, and that you can overcome whatever it is that you're battling, whether it be bullying, whether it be, toxic lovers, family members, you name it. Whatever it is that you might be experiencing, you will and you can get through it. Do not allow this world to convince you that you're not who you are, that you didn't see what you saw, and that you didn't hear what you heard, and that you didn't feel what you felt. Because I personally have always considered myself an empathic person. I pick up energy and vibes of other people really easily. I tend to pay close attention to people's body language, and when they're around me, it technically is an unconscious thing that I do, but over time I've kind of become aware that I do these things. And again, I feel like it was more so because of a trauma from traumatic experiences in my past, which made me hyper focus on my environment and the individuals around me, always perceiving things and people as a threat. And I no longer feel like I'm living in fight or flight mode or fawn mode. I do still struggle with it on occasion, but I am getting better with it day by day. And it's a journey, and you might feel yourself going through the same thing. I just want to let you know to give yourself grace, because that's what I have to do for myself on a daily. I have to reaffirm myself every day to remind myself that I'm safe, that I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm good, my loved ones are good, we're good. And it can be hard, because when you've lived for a great deal of your life, always looking over your shoulder, waiting for the next shoe to drop, essentially, it's really hard to accept good things when they come to you. But I encourage you to accept those good things, to remember your inner strength, to tap into that beast when you need to, but you don't need to always be in beast mode. You can always, the good thing about the things that you've gone through and how it's made you strong is that you can tap into it at any time. When true real danger arises, you will always know what to do, because that's been my experience. When things really would hit the fan, I always knew what to do. And if I didn't know, I researched, I, spoke to someone who might be an elder or whatever, and I gained that information from them. And essentially, I'm reminded that I'm stronger than I think I am. And I will say that I have grown to understand that some might call the type of person that I am as being a chosen one. I personally, I still feel uncomfortable a little bit calling myself that, and that's just because I don't like to put a lot of titles on myself. I don't like to fit in any particular box. I've always been a free thinker. I've always been a person who marches to the beat of her own drum. And if I'm not moved or compelled, personally to do something or subscribe to something, then I just don't. So, but essentially, from what I've learned through my studies, my own personal studies, and things that I've learned with metaphysics and stuff like that, that I would essentially be considered a chosen person. And chosen ones are very strong. We're very inept. We tend to have a sense of things that most don't comprehend. Like I go through this on a daily with like talking to my husband, and I'm like, hey, don't ask me how I know this. I just know it. I don't know how I know it, but I do. So I guess you could say a little bit of psychic ability there too. And that is a muscle that I'm trying to flex and grow. And maybe if you're into metaphysics and spirituality and stuff like that too, you may already know about those things, clear audience, clear cognizance, being, having psychic abilities, and that the mind can do amazing things. We can do more things than we think that we can. And I just want to be a word of encouragement. I know this world beats us down at every turn. You might work in an environment that isn't the healthiest or the best for your mental or your physical. You might be around, like I said, toxic family members who all they want to do is take from you and suck all the joy out of your life, and they never really contribute or give or add anything to you. They're just always looking to take, whether that be emotionally, physically, financially, you name it. And I can understand that those things bog us down. Even as a strong person, even as a chosen one, those things bog us down. And you have to sometimes go within. Me personally, that's who I am. I like to go within. I like to go into my solitude. I like to go in my hermit mode and be to myself. I am naturally an introvert. I've always been that way. I know not everyone is, and that's fine too, but that's just how I recharge my batteries. I have to stay in my own little safe cocoon space where I give myself that time to breathe and work through whatever it is I'm working through, or deal with any current pressing issues that I want to be able to ultimately overcome. And we all process stuff like that in our own way. Some people journal, some people pray, some people meditate. Hey, whatever you need to do to be okay, you do that. And I just, again, want to be a reminder that you are stronger than you think. You've gotten through far worse, most likely as a chosen one. You've gone through the ringer. We all seem to have a similar origin story of having horrific childhoods. Not all, but the vast majority that I've encountered, or stories that I've been told, is very similar. It's almost uncanny. But I guarantee you, there is no coincidence. It is significant that we all are enduring these same type of things. And I do feel, like I mentioned earlier, that in the times that we're living in, some are calling it the end times. I'm not saying that per se, because I don't know that to be true. But, if it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, it's a duck. You get what I'm saying? So ultimately, you just got to recognize that these things aren't happening to you for no reason. And as I was once told quite some time ago, is that sometimes the things that we go through isn't necessarily for us. It might be for someone else, like how I'm here trying to share my experiences in the hopes that it can uplift and help and maybe even educate someone else. Because at the end of the day, I've always been the type of person that I like to help others. Helping others is what I truly, thoroughly enjoy. However, I've had many people take advantage of my kind, helpful heart over the years. And that makes you not want to help people and not want to be there for people. But ultimately, I always come back to it because it's in me. That's who I am. And I used to hate that quality about myself. But now I recognize, and I've made peace with it, and the fact that it's just who I am. God know how he created me, and this is who I am. So strength is not just being physically strong. It's also about the mental, a very big deal of the mental. And I feel like I've fought so many personal spiritual battles that I didn't even recognize that I was in over the years. And the only way I know I got through those was with my own mental fortitude, like, and the help of the Most High, of course. But there's no way I could have gotten through any of those scenarios if I didn't trust in myself first. So thank you for watching. And if you liked a little bit about what I spoke about in this video, please feel free to come back again. And I hope to be able to connect with my community and be able to link up with other specific chosen ones, and where we can again just talk and uplift each other during these tough trying times. Because yeah, it's hard out here. It's hard out here to really connect with like-minded individuals. I know for me, it's been a lifelong struggle to find other like-minded individuals like myself. So if you feel like you resonate with anything that I spoke about in this video, feel free to come back. Until then, see you next time.